Hey, Bill, what's up?
Yes.
You there?
No, I'm right here.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to record this real quick. We're going to do a 10-minute video.
I'm eating.
It is January the 5th, 2020, January 5th, Sunday, 6:09 p.m. Eastern Time. Tell us a little bit about the chat, Bill. Are we going to go ahead and continue to allow people to dominate the chat? Well, I guess you have some new rules you want to follow?
Well, Carmen, or whatever you want to call that guy last night, I keep forgetting his damn name. The black man who came in last night, the guy that made the video at me.
Crimson.
Crimson, there you go. Damn name. Anyhow, you've people noticed this guy literally thought he was in charge of the chat.
Right.
Or the live stream. So how is it that you're going to go on somebody else's live stream and start telling, oh, you don't belong in here, get out of here, you know? And then so I start saying something, you go, oh, knock that off, knock it off, you know? You're trying to control somebody else's chat.
Mm-hmm.
But yet he's the guy that said that I don't have any empathy or care.
Right.
Okay? He don't even know me. I think he's got it ass backwards personally. Okay? I've had empathy and care all my life. I've helped other people for nothing, for no profit my entire life. Okay? But yet this clown comes along that don't know me, never talked to me once in their life, never at all, don't know the first thing about me, takes one video I made and sits there and critiques it for 2 hours straight, okay? And says shit that's completely off the wall. I invite him into the live stream, and when I started explaining what TFL is, he tried to shut me down.
Yeah.
He didn't know that's nonsense, right? And then Anika's right there saying the same thing and agreeing with him. So then I freaking nailed them both. Well, if TFL, this ain't really happening, then please explain to me where PUA came from. And
right. They don't want to answer those harsh questions because Bill,
and
like
when
I
said that, they went quiet. Both of them did. They shut up and changed topics.
Right. Well, Bill, I've said this before. I was always very suspicious, but Monday, FA Monday, there's a reason why he didn't enter the chat. I think you're right. I think these two are running a nifty little operation here.
No. It was Monday. What do we got? We got somebody's got schooling. He's worked as a radio announcer, television station or something.
Yeah, he seems like he's so polished and professional the way he presents his product. It's very well scripted and written. And who knows, maybe that's his full-time job.
Yeah,
we're trying to teach people about TFL and the seriousness of this, and he's sideswiping it by saying it's a normie versus non-normie issue when it's social engineering at its heart. That's where
and he's going back to the original narrative since day one. Right. You got the hyperlexia dialects of problem, reaction, solution.
Yeah.
See, these people that created these problems already knew that there was going to be an epidemic of men that wouldn't be able to get a girlfriend in their life.
Oh, they knew this years ago when these dating books started.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They already knew this because they were social engineering it.
Right.
That's why they gave you pickup artist industry, and that's why they gave you MRI.
Yeah.
Okay? Which was all phony solutions because they were never meant to fix the problem that they created.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the problem fixed.
Right.
The closest to reality was when I came along and we started doing TFL. That pissed them off. Okay, that is the actual, so that is the elephant in the room.
Right.
So when they thought they were denying TFL and going to blame it all back on us, you bring up PUA and they go quiet because it confirms that if this wasn't going on, they couldn't have marketed this material and made a lot of money on it.
No kidding, Bill. We've been exposing this shit for over 10 years. PUA peaked at around 2007, then it went whoop downhill. And I remember how it was going downhill. They mainstreamed it to that show, The Pickup Artist, and then from there on, it was pretty much downhill with PUA. And now, I don't know, you got to be dumber than a box of rocks to believe it. But Anika and Monday FA Monday, they're running a slick operation. driving people in the wrong direction. Unfortunately, it's like a get-rich-quick scheme. The manosphere is every time we make progress, there's a new group of suckers that joins, and they get
Well, you have the new people, and you have, when we started this, people that might have been 9, 10, 11 years old or whatever, 12 years old. Now they're adults, yeah, okay. And they're running into this problem. And so and then you have the other thing. And I haven't been joking with anybody when I said that YouTube is flooded with Hollywood and CIA and military, and they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is this. These people that people have been calling shields, agents, and I'm just going to use employee of the establishment because it sounds better than all the other BS names, because that's really what they are. They're employed, making money, just like you go get a job, okay? They're employed, okay? That's the reason I'm using that name, okay? But their job technically is to keep the problems that they've engineered onto us alive and well. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to preach that. So that's right back to the same narrative. We created the problem. We gave you PUA. We told men it was their own fault, and they had to have confidence, and they had to self-improve. And if you bought PUA, man, you could learn how to talk to another human being that you had no problem talking to when you were a child. Okay.
Anika didn't want to touch about a lot of subjects. When I mentioned the immigration problem and how it skews the numbers, she goes, well, it's very rare that, women date outside their culture, whatever, but she's wrong. No, it's not. There's all kinds of factors with the New World Order, particularly, the demographic ratios. And so I was telling, and I try to tell the truth, Bill, there's a lot of factors, but the social engineering starts with Hollywood and the media and the way they portray men. And you don't watch a lot of TV, but I'm telling you, I see enough TV shows like in passing when I'm at the nursing home or whatever, and like these shows like, not CSI, but like there's a bunch of TV shows where they center around all these forensics, and it's all propaganda. It's all anti-male. Every time they show a bad guy, he's a psychotic white male that hates women. I mean, it's such propaganda, and now they're using the incels as the enemy, and it's really crazy.
Yes. Well, they
don't want to address this stuff. FA Monday knows this is going on because he's part of the establishment, and I am making that accusation because I don't believe these guys are pro. They've never proven otherwise. Everything about him seems like a psyop. He's so professionally written, the way he edits his videos, he's got it all laid out. I don't believe he's the only way he's operating a very professional operation. It doesn't seem right. It's just the way he delivers his words.
Well, Monday, when you listen to him, he sounds like that of a TV host or a news anchor or a radio announcer. And he's very professionally laid out when he does his videos on top of his speaking. This man has done this somewhere for a living. He's went to school to learn this. This is not just normal behavior.
And he didn't just do this off the cuff. Because I think if he would have done it off the cuff, he would have, he would not be so evasive from his audience, too.
Mm-hmm.
Something doesn't seem right. If he wasn't willing to get into the chat yesterday to answer the most basic questions, it made me suspicious. His face popped up on the screen for about 3 seconds. Then it disappeared. Then we didn't hear from any of them.
Yeah, and then they claimed they had connecting problems.
No,
they didn't have connecting problems. He ended the chat.
Yeah,
he
ended
stopped
the
chat. Meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, he stopped the meeting for sure.
Okay, that's all that happened. And then they didn't rehook up because he was fighting with her, and they're not about to tell you that. She wanted him on, and he didn't want to be on, but they're not about to tell you that.
No.
That's really what happened last night. But as far as the trolling goes, unfortunately, as sad as it is, I like Ron Fan. This guy has followed me and Steve since the beginning of TFL.
Yeah.
This man has literally followed us since the beginning. He's followed the political and stuff that I done. He's quite awake to what's going on in this world. Mm-hmm. Okay, but he did make a grave mistake.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't think he sees what we see in Monday. And he was a little bit more trusting, but he went over to Anika's live stream with Monday and Anika. and he put in my ID number and the information I gave out to the people calling into the show. Okay, so now it went in a forum that has 40,000 subs on it, okay, and got hit by all these people. So then last night, now the trolls have the call-in ID number I was using for these people. So now I've had to change that, and it's going to be a random number every single week, okay? It's not going to be just given out to anybody. I'm going to make people come to Zoom, and, you know, in special cases, I'll give the meeting ID number out. I'll start 10 minutes before I go live, and I'll give it out to certain people. But they already had to be in the show, and I already had to know who they are and know they're okay. Because if you allow somebody to fool you, you give the ID number out, and now they pass it to a friend who comes in and trolls your show.
Well, that's a little tricky though, Bill, because if you start a meeting, once they have you're saying that to keep the trolls out, you're going to have to change up the meeting as soon as the first troll comes in, you're going to have to start a new meeting every time, right?
Now, how's a troll going to get in unless they get the information?
Right.
See, the only way I could have stopped the trolling officially for good last night would have been to literally end the meeting and restart the meeting after I changed the setting so that I have a different ID number. And then I would literally have to have everybody call back in again. So what I'm doing is setting it to a random number.
Yeah, but if they call back in again, the same trolls are going to call the new ID.
No, they're not, because they wouldn't have it. They would be calling the full call-in number and using the ID number they had from last time.
I see. Okay.
Okay. What's protecting me is the fact I can use random ID numbers, and they're going to have to figure out that ID number to get to our meeting.
Right.
Okay. That's the only protection we really
but
have.
How do you keep them from knowing it, but not the others? You'd have to have the other people's email addresses, is what I'm saying. Okay. So if you had everybody else's email address.
Originally, when I gave out the information, I told people to email me, and they emailed me, and I sent them the information. This is how they've been coming to the show along, with the exception of you. You're already in the friends list, contacts list.
Right, I see.
I'm inviting people to get Zoom, because I would prefer they get Zoom, and they use my email and send me a friend invite and be in my list.
Right.
But if it's a troll, somebody being slick, Steve, and they send you a friend's request on Zoom, and now you invite them into a live stream, and they start trolling you, you can not only remove them, you can get to go to your other box in the chat and go to their name, and you get to block them and delete them, and they can never troll you again.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I may do a Zoom meeting next. I'm going to experiment with my own format, which is going to be a non-live event. It's going to be pre-recorded, but I'm going to allow maybe up to 10 people in the chat. They can call in, and then either through the phone or through the Zoom. It's up to them how they want to do it. They'll have the Zoom ID number, and they can go right in at a certain time, and hopefully we can kick them out and keep them out.
Well, that's not a bad idea. You know, and if you get honest people, then you ain't got to worry about it. But if you get a troll, you know, last night's show, because of the trolling, I didn't want to have to end everything and start all over.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had to keep removing the troll. But because that happened, now I'm changing the way I'm doing it. Now
you know
people
what?
are going to be more pickier now. Now it's going to be a little harder on you.
Yeah. If I hadn't entered that chat when I did, Bill, if I hadn't entered, Anika would have been giving anecdotes about guys on bicycles showing up to dates. I mean, like, we all know that's common sense. I just don't want to listen to that crap. You know, I mean, it sounds like what's happened, female infiltration in the manosphere has been destructive, but it just takes on a whole new meaning. And I like I said, I don't feel strongly about really inviting women into TFL because I don't think they will ever understand it. And it's a red flag when a woman pretends that she does.
If I didn't have the trolling going on from the very beginning of my show, I would have been more focused, and when she said it, I would have went after her. But people don't understand that when I got that trolling going on at the same time in the show, Now you're derailing me because I go off the cuff, okay? And
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure to remove this troll. Okay, now I'm frustrated because it's happening. Then they come right back again.
You think it
Then
was
they
a
come right back again.
was it a certain person from New York? You think
I suspect they probably came from the Albany area.
it could have been from Orlando too?
It could have been from Orlando as well. It could have been him. I mean, she called my phone one time only, and normally calls 5, 6 times and gives up. And then suddenly this was happening. So, but you know, it don't matter. The point is you think you're funny. You're trying to destroy a live stream because you don't like it because we're talking about the life you're living.
Right.
Rather than want support, try to get out of the life you're living or be strong enough to live it, you're going to act like a little 3-year-old. And I don't know where you live because I could come down and we can maybe change your diaper. Okay, maybe you need your bottle. Maybe you haven't been fed recently. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's very childish baby behavior.
Good point. Still there?
Yeah, him. You caught me while I was eating.
So anyways, yeah, so I don't know. How about the dashboard light? I'd love to get him in a chat. He'd be kind of cool to get in here.
I think it would be good to have him on Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine? I think that'd be cool, man. Have him, me, Steve in there, and whoever else shows in.
You know, if he could control himself, we could do a pre-recorded one. He could come in. I'll give him the ID number. He can come in, and I may. Here's another suggestion that I may do. This is a good idea, Bill. I may put together a list of maybe 10, 20 people who watch my channel, and I'll just send them the random ID, and then that will eliminate the trolls completely. That's the best way to do it. Email the people in advance, then we can do this meeting.
Yeah, you could do that definitely. There's
And,
a lot of ways we can do it, you know. If you're doing it in a live stream like on Saturday night, that'd be great to have you show up. But if you do a pre-recorded one, you won't have to worry about trolls.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't let the trolls bother me.
Yeah.
Last night was a little different because the fact they were actually getting into the live stream feed itself and interrupting the actual show.
Yeah.
Okay, that I'm not going to put up with.
Yep.
Okay, if you want to interrupt the actual show and you're laughing at it, you go ahead and laugh. But I've just now made it tough for you because unfortunately other people have to suffer. It's like the bad apple in a bag because one little childish baby came along who failed to grow up and is still wearing his diapers. Because that's what took place last night. We had a little child with a diaper, with shitty diaper on, and you know, probably crapped himself and peed himself and was sitting there goo gaga in it. And,
right.
you know, that's really what's going on. And I don't care if you don't like me calling you that because that's the mentality you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because only somebody with that kind of mentality would be doing what you were doing.
Sounds like that's exactly what they're doing.
You know, and as far as Anika goes, well, yeah, she gave you the classic example. You know, I had a person was determined, Steve's the only one that stood up to Anika. And I made the statement, you know what? You don't even know me. Steve can tell you right now, I stand up for myself to women. I always have. Okay? And the reality is the only reason I didn't go after Anika like Steve did was because I didn't think you wanted loud music and ah! Who would have heard Steve?
Bill, I'm not afraid.
Nobody.
I didn't use any profanity. The part about her supposedly, it's on the fence. I mean, she said she's a widow. She didn't get into the details of it, but is she a widow? We don't know that too. We don't know the story.
Well, that's just it. We don't know the story, and then you have to remember when they tell the story, you have to go this way with it. Is it?
But if
just
she
the
says she's a
story?
widow, you don't want to call her. You don't want to
No.
call her. Yeah, you don't want to call
I'm
her.
not going to call her a liar.
Yeah.
But you still have to question things because remember this. If she told us the story, Steve.
It could shut down debate for one thing.
Well, that it could also be just a story and not truth.
Mm-hmm.
But it also could be truth.
Yeah.
The problem is we do not know her to judge her that way. Okay, so I would never go there.
Right.
You know, but I didn't appreciate two simps, a female and a simp, the guy bending over and kissing her, you know what, in the show last night,
Right.
totally simping out, okay? And then the guy, and then he tried to control the damn live stream like he owned it. When he didn't own shit, you know, he was on somebody else's live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, you know, the guy's just, what can I say, you know? But I'm not going to go into it no more. Just now, people are going to have a little bit on Saturday Night Live. Okay, you're going to have to send me an email. You have to have already been in the show. If you've never been in the show before, then you're going to have to get Zoom. And you're going to get my email and send me a friend's request. And I'm going to put you on a contacts list.
Right.
And you're going to say, well, why? I've never been on the show. That's my protection against the little babies who pretend that they're blah, blah, blah to get into the stream and troll me like I already had happened once.
Right.
It already happened once, but I removed them right away. I blocked them. And then they spent 2 weeks trying to get me to unblock them.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is what's going to happen. I need to have the control to stop people like this, and so does Steve if you're on a live stream. Because these people will fucking love the hell out of destroying your live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're not going to destroy Saturday Night Live because you got an issue with us telling real truth and talking about the dating scene on stuff that your damn yellow-bellied fucking coward ass won't stand up, own up to, admit to for your own self, be honest with your own self. You're going to just keep playing along thinking someday you'll be lucky.
I'll tell you something, Bill, like I said, I think that this issue of TFL, it may be harder to get out to the masses because, like I said, it's the old sucker is born every minute. Anytime a young guy is coming of age and he's looking for an answer, he goes to where he finds it convenient, and he goes to the manosphere. And who does he discover? He discovers at Monday FA Monday. He discovers Red Pill. What's his name? What's his name? Red Pill.
Coach Red Pill.
Coach Red Pill, and they immediately go down the wrong path. And it's very difficult to get those people away from that. It's like all these newbies in the MGTOW act like they discovered something new, and nothing's new, nothing's changed because
nothing's new, man. They're gonna come up here, they're gonna come up here new and discover these things, Steve. Then some of these guys will even come up and start making videos and, man, this stuff that's going on, and I need to educate you guys to what's really going on.
Yeah, it's laughable. It's like, and then, you know, we got these people that come here today, gone tomorrow. It's a weird. So, you know, Bill, I don't know. I mean, I can't promise people like I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. I mean, it's really weird. It's like it depends on how much if this makes it into the mainstream in the next couple of years, I'll amp it up even harder. But if it doesn't, you know, it kind of is weird because this is a very taboo subject.
I don't think that you're going to get to the mainstream. When you get to the mainstream, this is how it'll probably play out. They will lump incel and TFLers as one and the same.
Yep.
You will have mental issues. It'll be all your fault, and
Right.
you will be dangerous to society, and we'll have to do something about you.
Yeah, or you'll get one. Yeah, or yeah. Oh God. Yeah, but yeah, I get very suspicious when people just jump the gun and they enter into our domain, and they want to start changing the narrative. I'm not changing the narrative at all, Bill. TFL is social engineering. The powers that be. This all falls into New World Order because it does, in the sense that population control is at the top of it.
Yeah, that's the whole reason it's going on. It's about population control. Okay, and whether you believe it or not, that is the real truth.
Right.
The Georgia Guidestones is connected. It's right there.
Well, that's one aspect of it, Bill. I think the Georgia Guidestones are a big aspect, but I think in general, if you were going to subvert society and you wanted to control the population, you would immediately demonize men. Men, like white males, can make a difference in society at a much larger scale than any other.
Well, Steve, but you got to look at it realistically. Before the Georgia Guidestones come up and they started the social engineering at TFL, they could have easily decided to reverse the plan and go after the women, and we would be in the same spot we are right now, but it'd be the other way around. But it's not.
I don't think so, Bill.
After the men.
Because I don't think you could reverse this around where the men would have no interest in the women would. I don't think that would fly. I just don't. I
don't think totally, but what I'm telling you is this.
I think they had to subvert the women, not the men. The women are easier to control.
Well, this would have been true back when they started it. That would have been very true. Okay? Easier with the women. Women were the easiest target. If they had subverted men, it would have been had to be in a different form, but you'd still have the same problem because there's not a lot of people that don't fall into the social engineering. But at the same time, I want you to think about something. The tool. The tool is what Steve works his butt off for, and he finally has gotten somewhere in his life. Money. Okay? And I call it the tool because it is used for control, and so many people will sell out for that money. Okay? And when enough money is offered, they sell out. And this is the crux of the problem with men. If they had reversed it, which they did many neons ago, to bring it in and use the men and not the women and demonize the women, they would have been shelling out a lot more shekels.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's true.
So with women, no, it was cheaper for them, easier for them. I mean, think about it. We have convinced our population that women are beautiful,
Hmm.
smart, intelligent, and they're a whole different class of a man than a man, because a man's sort of like second class unless he's got the approval of the female gender.
Yep.
Okay? And this is insanity.
Well, that's why people like bow down to people like Anika. Anika used her eggs as a battering ram. Like, well, my eggs are more important.
Oh
Well,
my God, they'd hate me. You know what I'd say?
yeah,
You're right, Anika. I mean, you got it. You're right. So since you hate men so bad, we've decided that all men in the world decided to go ahead and neuter themselves. And if they don't want to neuter themselves, we're going to practice our eugenics and force it on you. And therefore, every baby boy born after that will be neutered at birth. Now, what good is your egg, Anika? Come on,
yeah.
what good is your egg now? Oh man, what do you mean you'll never have a baby?
Hmm.
Oh well, maybe you should have thought about that before you started playing your little power trip.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm that type of stuff fires me up because this is totally evil.
Hmm.
This is totally wrong. It's totally evil.
Well, it's what you got to do. You got to try to educate people as much as you can. But I don't know, Bill. I mean, the outcome of TFL is, I mean, there's just more. It's just drags on more and more. But I think public awareness of what's happening in the dating scene, that the crux is of it is that it's not your fault.
No, that's really it. It's absolutely not your fault. And you know, when you want to say we have a lot of women that are lonely, let me
Yeah,
tell
that
you
was another
something.
thing. Lonely women, I don't think so.
Well, you
He
know,
tried to
Steve.
take the narrative over and make, and then when Mitchell came in, and I love Mitchell, but Mitchell pissed me off when he said that. Well, you got to understand, there's a lot of lonely women. It's about 50-50 or whatever. He said something to that effect. I thought, Mitchell, no, I'm not going to buy that crap.
Well, first off, I would say it this way: lonely women. Okay, there might be an eighth of percent of women who are actually TFL. Outside of that eighth of a percent, okay? Okay? I hate to say it that way, but that would be the truth, okay? The other women that we're talking about that are lonely, well, this is the reason I said we have true forced loneliness and we have self-produced forced loneliness. That would be these women.
Yeah.
Self-produced. They're alone because they've chosen to be alone.
Yeah.
Okay, they're alone. And the women that said, oh, I didn't choose to be alone. Well, then stop being so picky, picky, picky. Stop thinking with that last movie or that image from Hollywood is in the back of your mind.
Right.
Okay, because there's the reality right in your face. Women aren't lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not that they can't be, because they could be,
Mm-hmm.
but for the majority, because nothing's 100%, for the majority, it would be self-produced or from their own damn pickiness.
Right. That's true.
Where with the men, the majority aren't self-produced. They're forced.
Right.
You know, that's the other thing you hear Steve all the time. I heard, you know, he started to say this, Mr. Cringe Man, last night. He says, nobody can force you to be alone. Because, Steve, you have other male companions. If
Right.
nothing else, go be gay. This is what he says.
Yeah.
If nothing else, and you can't get a woman, then you be gay.
Okay, yeah, he's going to enforce a lifestyle on somebody because he wants to shame them. That was the early anti-TFLers would do. They'd say, why don't you just be gay? Because they know that by giving you that advice, it infuriates you even more that they're saying that.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
It's a really way to kick you right between the legs, you know?
Yeah, they're trying to purposely make you as angry and hurt you as much as possible. And meanwhile, their ego trip feels powerful, man. Damn it, I'm good. I heard him, man. I heard him.
Right.
Okay, you know that's what I mean about being evil, about being mentally sick. The entertainment is watching other people suffer, and men are the targets. And you all laugh at men suffering. No different than you did with Morena Bobbitt. No different you did with the other guy that got his sliced off and put in a garbage disposal.
Ugh.
All of you people laughed. It was so hilarious. But would it have been hilarious if it happened to you? No. To you men. You wouldn't have been laughing then.
Men don't value other men. That's no doubt about that. And Bill, that's problematic because I mean, we can talk about this subject, but the bottom line is that if this is the reality of male biology, that men in fact don't value other men, I guess there's no other answer to it.
It's actually not biology. That's just I don't agree with that. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
I don't either, Bill.
I think under the dialects of biology, you wouldn't be wrong about that part. But what I would say about the biology thing, people need to remember this. The powers to be been doing this for a long time, and they are the ones that control everything you've learned in your life from the time you come home and everything the school system's teaching you.
Yeah.
Even in the medical industry, they have total control over it.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about that. You'd be falling right down the road believing a lie. It's not people's fault. We've been lied to our whole life.
Alex Ansary said a lot of times we think our thoughts belong to us, but our thoughts are not necessarily our own. And we think we're independent, but we may be falling right into the trap when we think we are all independent thinkers. That's why the ego is really, it's figuring out a way to realize that your thoughts, everybody's trying to find an angle to beat the system, but at the end of the day, we have to work together.
Yeah. Well, Steve.
Yep.
I think we should end this, huh?
I think we should. Stay on for about 2 more minutes. I'm going to end it here. January 5th, 2020, 6:42 p.m. Eastern Time. Hold on.